Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Generations, the Americas, the two Captain Americas, Falcon and Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson. Yeah, anyway, listen. So there's only going to be one Captain America again. Thank God. Like, we only need one Captain America. And at this point, I don't even care who it is. I just want one Captain America. So we finally got that again, and it's going to be Steve Rogers. And listen, of all the books all the Generations books that I've read, this one was easily the hands down best one. In this Generations, while all the other ones, they'd live, they'd be there for like a couple of minutes, it would seem, like, a few hours or like a day or two. This one, Sam Wilson lived an entire lifetime and died there. Which is like, he actually had the experience of dying of old age. And this one really wraps all of them together. This is the one that meant the most. So it's good that it came out last. It's okay that it came out at the same time as the Spider-Man one, but I guess they had to kind of push forward on the legacy thing. I kind of wish that this would have been staggered a little bit more, but still, this was a freaking beautiful book. I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, we get to see that Sam Wilson goes back in time and uses the inspiration that Captain America had given him while he first, like Steve discovered Sam Wilson. He pretty much raised him as his own, not as a child, but as a partner, from a sidekick to a full partner to his replacement, to an equal, then to his replacement. I mean, like, the full circle of life is there with Sam Wilson. So the idea that Sam Wilson would take that entire lifetime of inspiration and training and then be able to go back in time and then give that same thing, that same measure of a sense of self-worth and inspiration to his mentor, Steve Rogers, was perfect. It's a little sad to me that it's not actually time travel. It was something else entirely. It was just a glimpse. Wherever Kobik is, we don't know, but wherever she is, all she did was to give everybody a glimpse, and the idea that they can actually go out and not have to be the people who they were trying to emulate. They can branch out on their own. They're allowed to do that. And that's kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, most of these other comics, these other Generations stories, didn't necessarily do that, or they kind of felt like, there was just the air that nothing changed. With the Miles Morales one, I did feel that there was some change. With the Miss Marvel one, I felt that one, there was a change. A couple little things like that. The Amadeus Cho one was wild because, whoa, like, you actually get to see that, no, you're actually more alike than you think. He thought that there was nothing but change there. So, yeah. And then, of course, you have the utter failure that was Captain Marvel. But, yeah, this one, like, let's just put it this way. Those last 2 pages, I reread those last 2 pages easily 5 times. Because they were just so good. Like, just, wow. What a perfect way to end, not just a story, but the Generations story in and of itself. Wow. This was really good. Guys, I know that this comic is probably going to tick off a lot of people. Shut up. This is technically exactly what everybody wants. I mean, when you think about it, maybe the execution isn't the way that they want it to be, but no, this is kind of what everybody wants. This is the idea of, look, there was inspiration all around, but at the same time, his inspiration mattered for him. It didn't matter for Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers never met him way back in the day. There's no proof of his existence way back in the day. Therefore, this only happened in his mind. It was only for Sam Wilson. And all of these stories, they were only for themselves. So they didn't actually have to hide their secret. Like, oh, I'm not really here from the future. No, they could have done whatever they wanted. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. It only mattered for them. And Sam was the only one able to figure that out. Sam was the only one who wasn't trying so hard to get back. This was a great comic. This was great. And seriously, reading this comic, the other Generations, not so much, even though some I liked, some I didn't like. Most of them I liked. But this one, I actually have a feeling of hope going forward for Captain America and for Falcon. for Sam Wilson. And that's, I don't know, kind of apropos, but that's generally the way that I feel about it. On top of that, so we know that 695 is going to be the next issue of Captain America where Mark Waid jumps on. Mark Waid doesn't need any introductions. Falcon #1, which will feature Sam Wilson, that is going to be it's going to be drawn by Joshua Cassara, but it's going to be written by Rodney Barnes. I think this is his first time writing comic books, but he is director, producer, all that good stuff, AFI and Peabody Award winner for Everybody Hates Chris and for The Boondocks. So these are shows that they've received many seasons, critical acclaim, clearly. And I think that maybe, I'm going to give him a chance at the very least. I think that he's going to do a good job, but he's going to show us. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give this comic, as much as it's going to tick some people off, whatever. Like I said, I read these comics for me. I'm going to give this an A+. But the thing that may bother a bunch of people is I'm also making this my pick of the week. This was a really good comic. This comic, just, wow. Wow. What a good take through history, the Sam Wilson history and the new Sam Wilson history and Steve Rogers' history. This was a very all-encompassing comic book. I felt that this was probably one of the best things that Nick Spencer has done so far. I am thoroughly impressed with how good this comic was and how at the very end, the one bit of inspiration that really did matter was the one that actually did happen, was when Sam Wilson actually inspired Captain America to go out and reclaim his legacy. That is freaking awesome. That was really, like I said, those last 2 pages, I could read those last 2 pages every day. Those were absolutely beautiful. Anyway, guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.